The objective of this lesson is to subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators by replacing one or more fractions with an equivalent fraction. In previous lessons, students have added mixed numbers with like and unlike denominators. Students learned that mixed numbers can be decomposed into wholes and fractional parts. Today, they will extend that knowledge to subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators. There are many different ways to solve today's problems. Let's begin with our first problem. Pet World had 6 1/4 cans of cat food in the morning. For breakfast, the cats consumed 2 1/8 cans of food. How much cat food was left? The expression to represent this problem situation is the 6 1/4 cans of cat food available in the morning minus the 2 1/8 cans that were eaten. To model this expression, draw a long rectangle and divide it into 7 whole sections. Divide the last section into fourths. Shade in the first 6 whole sections one color and one of the fourths in the last section. This represents the 6 1/4 cans of cat food we started with. The problem asks to subtract 2 wholes and 1/8 of the cans. Do this by crossing out 2 of the 6 whole sections. In order to subtract the 1/8 section, the fourths must be broken into eighths. This is done by taking each 1/4 section and making it into 2 eighths. 1/4 is equivalent to 2 eighths. Take away one of the eighth sections. This is modeled by crossing one of the shaded eighths. The difference, or answer, is shown with the uncrossed out shaded sections remaining. There are 4 wholes and 1/8 left. There were 4 1/8 cans left. Let's solve the same problem using the common denominator strategy. The equation to represent the problem is 6 1/4 cans minus 2 1/8 cans equals C, the cans left over. Another way to write the equation would be 2 1/8 cans eaten plus C, cans left over, equals the 6 1/4 cans started with. Or the mixed numbers could be changed to fractions. 25/4 minus 17/8 equals C, cans left over. Let's solve using the first equation. The fractional pieces 1/4 and 1/8 have uncommon denominators. They are, however, related. 8 is twice as big as 4, or 4 times 2 equals 8. This means that the fourths can be turned into eighths by multiplying the numerator and denominator by 2. 1/4 is equivalent to 2 eighths. The new equivalent equation reads 6 2/8 minus 2 1/8 equals C. Start by subtracting the wholes. 6 minus 2 equals 4 wholes. Then subtract the fractional parts. 2 eighths minus 1/8 equals 1/8. There are 4 1/8 cans left. Another way to solve would be to start with the original equation, 6 1/4 minus 2 1/8 equals C. Then to find common denominators for the fractional pieces, multiply the denominators by each other. Multiply 1/4 by 8 and 1/8 by 4. The equivalent fraction for 1/4 is 8/32, and the equivalent fraction for 1/8 is 4/32. The new equivalent equation reads 6 8/32 minus 2 4/32 equals C. Subtract the wholes. 6 minus 2 equals 4, and 8/32 minus 4/32 equals 4/32. C equals 4 4/32 cans left over. There are multiple ways to subtract these mixed numbers. As long as the equations created are equivalent, the answers are correct. Let's try one more problem. My friend has a garden that covers 4 3/8 square feet of her front yard. While weeding her garden, my friend noticed that a bush took up 1 2/6 square feet of the garden. How much of the whole area does she really need to weed? Let's solve this problem numerically. The equation to represent this problem would be the 4 3/8 square feet minus the 1 2/6 square feet equals A, the amount of the garden needing to be weeded. The denominators 6 and 8 are not the same. To begin, let's start by finding a common denominator. This time, let's use the strategy of multiplying the denominators together to find a common denominator. 6 times 8 equals 48. 48 will be our common denominator. Again, there are multiple ways to solve this problem. This is just one way. Multiply the 3 eighths by 6 and the 2 sixths by 8 to obtain equivalent fractions with common denominators. The new equivalent equation reads 4 and 18/48 minus 1 and 16/48 equals A. A equals 3 and 2/48 square feet to Weed. The objective for this lesson was to subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators by replacing one or more fractions with an equivalent fraction. We met this objective by generating equivalent fractions with common denominators numerically with the common denominator strategy. We also solved real-world problems visually with the bar model.